One of the most frequently question asked by the investors is the required company's capital in Turkey. At first, what is capital? If we are to define it briefly, the capital, it is the money put by the partners to cover the expenses of a company. Capital shows the partnership, shareholder, structure of the company. For whom capital is needed? There is no capital required to individual companies. Companies' capital in Turkey is obligatory for joint stock companies or limited liability companies. There is a clause about capital in the Articles of Association of Capital Companies. In that clause, the amount of capital, who committed, how many shares and the value of the shares are written in detail. Capital can be committed with cash or real estate at the time of establishment. What is the minimum capital amount? Minimum required capital is 50,000 Turkish liras for joint stock companies and 10,000 Turkish liras for limited liability companies. However, this part is important, you do not need to make such payment in advance. For limited liability companies you make a commitment to pay this capital within 2 years. For joint stock companies you pay just 1/4 of the capital amount in advance. The value of the capital may be determined differently under special laws. Such as 100,000 Turkish liras paid capital is required in order to obtain work permit for foreigners. Should the company's capital in Turkey stay in the safe or in the bank? Can capital be spent? For joint stock companies until the registration of the capital, such as for establishment or capital increase, the 1/4 of capital is blocked by the bank. However, after the capital is registered, you can go to your bank with the necessary documentation and remove the block. For limited liability companies, the allocated capital is not required to be deposited in advance. After the capital has been paid, you can use the capital at any time and pay your salaries, rent, taxes and other expenses. If you have further questions about companies' capital in Turkey, please reach us through WhatsApp or email.